Google Hangouts on Air is basically just adding some additional features to Google Hangouts that we have on campus. But in order to access that, we're now broadcasting on YouTube, by the way. In order to access those features, what you need to do is set up your own personal account right now. And you have to have two things enabled. You have to have an account in Google Plus, and you have to have a YouTube account. And as long as you have that, you log in with well, let's go through the steps of setting it up. What you would do is you would go into your area, basically just adding some additional features to Google Hangouts that we don't have. But in order to act, so that we're not watching it at the same time we're doing it. Apparently I somehow did that. Okay. So this is a broadcast that's going out and it's live, but we don't need to stream it into here. And that's probably why the microphone was turned off or the speakers were turned off before. Okay, so in order to use it, we're going to jump over to my Google Plus account. And what you do is, let me just go back to the main Google Plus page here. And what you do in order to enable it once you're in Google Plus is you click on this little home icon here, and you wait for a while for this computer to respond. What should happen here is you'll see the option. Oh, I guess this will work. No, it's not. There we go. You drop down here and you go to Hangout. And one of the options you get for Hangouts is Hangouts on Air. And to schedule it, we'll schedule this from within a Hangout. We'll see how much recursion we can get going here. But you just click Create a Hangout on Air. And we'll just call this one a test Hangout. And we're not going to schedule it at the same time. That would get a little bit too confusing. But you have the option. If you want to just do a Hangout real quickly, you can just start it, send out a note to people or invite them, and just run it right there, and then record everything to YouTube. One example where I remember someone doing this actually was they had their students do this when they were doing, actually it was a COIL course. Or was it, let me rephrase that. It wasn't a COIL course, but it was a presentation at the COIL conference 2 years ago. The instructor had gotten tired of listening to students complaining about how tedious the online text chats were, that they weren't very engaged. He wasn't impressed with their work. They didn't enjoy them very much. So he decided to replace it by using Google Hangouts. He broke them up into groups. He told them to schedule the Hangouts whenever they want, but then to do each of the Hangout, their weekly discussions as a Hangout on Air, and then to send him the link to it. They could be private, but this way he got to see their actual discussions and interactions. And that was an interesting educational use of it. And the students ended up really being engaged. They liked it. They said far more, 10 to 12 times as much as they did when they were typing text, when they got here, and they ended up talking quite a bit. And in general, he didn't do any tests to see if they learned more, but certainly they found it a much more interesting experience and a much more engaging experience than just typing in a discussion forum, typically on an hour or two before it was due, and getting frustrated that there was nothing earlier for them to respond to because the responses were required and so forth. So we're just going to type in some junk here, and we're going to schedule this for later, and you can schedule, we're going to make this one private so that people don't try to log into this one, but we'll schedule it for later, and we'll pick on May 19th at 7 p.m. and you can choose a length in half-hour increments. You don't have to go the whole time. You can start it at any time. You can start it before then if you want to, but people may not be able to see it unless they're one of the participants. And then you can add individual names here or circles in Google Plus and so forth. And we'll just create this. It'll get broadcast on YouTube, but people would need the URL in order to connect because I didn't make it public and it won't be advertised. But basically, this is all you have to do, and I guess you have to send it to somebody. So I'll send it to myself here at Oswego, because having a Hangout with no one being invited probably doesn't make a lot of sense. So we'll just share that. And there. Okay, so I'll get an email notifying me that I've been invited to this Hangout. And then once you're in the Hangout, once you start it, we've got this other one. So this is the event. And you've got some really nice things here. So when you get the sharing options, you can you can share this as a post, but there's, that's not it. Sorry, let me go down a bit. I'm going to cancel that. The links are what's really helpful. You get an event page where people can go to it and they can watch your trailer if you provide a trailer grid video preview. The trailer could also be just an image. In fact, let me just do that. So suppose by default it'll take your profile picture from Google+, and we're just going to go and grab a photo here, and actually this is the one I used for here. So I'll do the same thing. For the trailer now, what happens is this has been selected, and then you can scale it. The proportions stay the same, but you can scale it however you want and resize it, move it around, and add a trailer. And now that is what people would see if they try to connect to it. If you use the embed code, what will happen is you can put it on a page and it will show up as a little YouTube window, and if they click on it, they'll get a countdown, and it will give them the hours and minutes until the start of the session. And then once it goes live, it'll just automatically appear right on the page. So you could have a series of talks or presentations on Google Hangouts, and people could just click on each one, and that becomes a URL. The URL for the Hangout becomes a URL for the recording. Well, it's the same URL later. One of the first times I saw this done was in a MOOC that Dan Ariely was teaching on Coursera a couple of years ago, and he had 18,000 or so people signed up for the MOOC, and he'd do 2 weekly Hangout sessions, and he'd get 5,000 or 6,000 people viewing it through YouTube. But what he'd do is one of the things you have there is questions and answers. People can pose questions. He'd have people in a discussion forum vote on questions, and then the people who had the most votes he invited in to the Google Hangout, and he'd have 4 or 5 people in there asking questions that he'd answer. And if you do it through the app, if you go to the event page, you can click on that. I can't do it because I'm one of the I just created it, but other people could pose questions there that the moderator of the sessions could see and respond to. And when it's responded to, it'll create basically a marker in the video so that people can jump to there directly to see where the question was answered. But now let's go back to the actual Hangout session. And this is a view of it. See that web page? That's why it was coming up with it's a little bit of a lag. But you can jump in here and you can go in and type questions and so forth if you want to from there. But we don't really need to see that right now because that's just 30 seconds or so earlier. But if we go, where's the actual Hangout? It's one of these other windows. Here we go. Here's the actual Hangout. Once you're in it, you've got a number of tools here. You could do some text chat on the side if you want to. Typically, you would from this framework. That's more for collaborative work and projects and so forth. You could do a screen share. So if you wanted to, show something else to people, you could. That's going to be a little bit recursive there. But now, what would happen is if you're watching it, you'd see this. You could go in, you could demonstrate programs, demonstrate apps, demonstrate a website, and do some sort of tutorial there or whatever. And then you can stop sharing and go back when you're done. And anyone in the Hangout can do this. Let's go back. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I want to stop the sharing, and we're back. Some other tools. If you click on the Q&A app. This is where questions would be submitted either before the event or during it. And then when you click on them, it puts that marker in. There's still 0 viewers, so that's okay. You could also do a screen capture and save it and send it out. You could take links here and distribute them to people by putting them here. There are only Google Drive links, but we all use Google Drive quite a bit these days. You have a cameraman here so that if you have multiple people and it's not switching correctly, you can go in and change, you can switch it automatically, or you can choose to hide audio and video when people log in directly as part of the Hangout, or you could broadcast your view of it, or you could let it switch back and forth to each of the other participants in it. And you could mute people when you have more than 3 people until you give them permissions. And then if you go over here, and you can for each participant, if we had them here, you'd be able to change. You could turn off their camera, turn it on. You could turn off their voice or turn it on. So if you have someone come in and they get a phone call and they start chatting on it and it's getting broadcast to everyone, you can mute them just as you could in Collaborate, for example.
I guess someone could come on if it's a public chat or...
No, they have to be invited to participate as one of the 1 to 10 people presenting.
Okay.
So people get in, and the way you do that is you go up to, you can either do it beforehand or you can add people right at the beginning. The best practice is to log in 15 minutes, a half an hour before, send out invites, and then, so we could send invites to people, would go out to the Google Hangouts app or to email if they're not online, and then they could just come in. The quiet invitation.
I'm thinking about a situation where I would want to get questions, but I would want them to be anonymous. I want them to have the option for their questions to be anonymous.
I don't know if that's possible. Well, one way of doing it would be to have a Google Doc and give it anonymous, leave it as anyone with the link can edit, and then tell people just to click on the link and not log in. So then they could post anonymous questions, or you could have a Google form where you just collect the responses, but without their IDs. So you need something else to do it. And here, it's always going to be, I'm pretty sure it's going to have their email addresses. I'm not positive though. I'm still a bit new at it. And then there's also a control review here, where here you have each person. If someone is a quiet talker or the microphone's not very loud, you could turn them up. If someone's really loud and it's dominating it, you could turn them down. You could turn video on or off for other participants, and so on. And you could put in little hats and things to follow people around. That's just kind of silly. You could also draw on the screen. So, we could, searching for a face. So it's not finding my face because of the angle. But what you can do here is you could, well, if you had a face, you could draw on the face. And I guess, okay, we'll skip that. Why is that? I think that was a drawing. It's going to be deleted. Why? Okay, I shouldn't try things like this when I'm not paying attention. So you get drawing tools, and you could draw on people while they're presenting, which is probably kind of weird. So let's turn that back off. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to disable that, and there we go. And somehow I can get rid of this. Okay, so you can adjust the focus on the screen too. But we don't really need to do that so much right now. And I'm not sure how we can turn that off. Usually it's a toggle. And it's still searching for a face. Okay. No, okay. So I don't know why that's still there, but we can move it out of the way. Okay. So the best thing is to try these things before you do it. And it's still trying to do that little face thing. And okay. I have no idea what I'm doing now. Okay. Normally I don't do those things when I'm running, something like that. It's a nice way to do a workshop or a presentation where you have presenters from multiple places, and it streams to YouTube, and then you could do the auto captioning and at least have a baseline in order to do, to make it accessible. And it's still looking for faces. Do you see what I'm doing wrong? There, I turn that off entirely. Camera room is an issue. Control room. Oops, I didn't mean to. Well, I don't really need Google Effects, so okay. Well, I'll undo it because it's not letting me close it either. Come on, stop. Okay. In any case, that's Google Hangouts on there. And then when you're done, you just click Stop Broadcast, and it will automatically post it to YouTube.
So just to clarify, you have to use Google Plus, yeah?
In order to schedule it, someone needs Google+.
Okay.
You can invite people from the college domain, but people from the college domain can't start it because it requires Google+ and YouTube.
Okay.
So you could still use it with classes. So you could do a presentation for your class, or if you had a guest speaker coming in and some students couldn't be there, you could always stream it live so they could watch it wherever they are or watch it later on YouTube. But you need a personal account to do it. You could grab the email addresses from the roster, paste them all in, and send them all invites, but you couldn't initiate it from oswego.edu address.
Do you know if there are any plans for us to be able to use Google Plus?
It is under discussion. Some of us have been pushing for it, not so much because Google Plus is all that useful, but because of this. Stony Brook has turned on Google Plus and YouTube for this very reason. Fashion Institute of Technology has, and at least one of the other schools has. I forgot which one. It was in a discussion we had a couple of weeks ago. And it's a really nice feature, and the ability to schedule it and have it live broadcast and record it, it's just really handy.
You could do a lot of cool things with this.
Mhm.
Yeah. Thank you.
And that's basically it. And when you're done, you just click stop broadcast and